In this video, we go 3 wide in Race A. Race B sees us get an absolute mammoth run on Disco Stew. And in Race C, well, I want to join in 3 wide, so I make it 3 wide. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gran Turismo Weekly Race Guide here in 2023. Week 35 is one fantastic week this week. It has some fun races indeed. First up in the background, you can see the Renault Clio RS that we are racing. Essentially, the Clio Trophy, the Clio Cup is what we're doing here. And we're at Suzuka East. We're doing 6 laps here at Suzuka East. It's a grid start. Don't worry, there's no full start check. So put your foot to the floor and off you go. And we are on comfort soft tyres. Make your car look like a Clio Cup car. That's what I advise here. I've actually driven one of them in real life as well. They're great fun, and I did get sideways. Let's get a little bit sideways maybe in turn 1 here at Suzuka. There are some timestamps there for you if you don't want to do this race, because it is a bit Rubbins racing. I know some of you don't like that, so you can jump to race B or race C. But this is a video. We're doing all 3 races. So let's jump to this first race. Let's have a look exactly what happens, and I'll give you a lap guide at the very end. Right then, here we go at the start. Look at Blue Thunder there in a TCR liveried Clio. I need to get hold of that, I think. So as we get ready, remember, no full start check here, so foot to the floor. I do use traction control here. It's very worthwhile doing as we set off here. Now, you're going to have to be careful of one thing. That's the rev limiter. It's very early, as you see here. So my start goes a bit bad because I hit the limiter, and I stayed the limiter for quite some time. So do be careful of that. It may be worth actually starting in second gear if it actually suits better. I've not tried that out, but it's just something that you may want to try. Just a bit of a hint there that might work. Going into the first turn then, you can see lots of side-by-side action up ahead. Everyone's staying really clean here, to be honest with you, as we leave turn 1 and head towards the S's then here at Suzuka East. And there's a little bit of rubbing there from Carolyn now, Mario Sonic. But again, expect this sort of thing in this race. It's very touring car-esque, Clio Cup-esque. There's lots of rubbing in those championships, and that's what I expect here in this race as well. It's very easy to say it's easier to be clean, but it's not. It's actually quite hard in this kind of race because everyone is so close together. There's not much braking, and it's all about maintaining a line there as we go into the right hand. Now, Mario Sonic goes for an unbelievable move there down the inside. Look at that. What a move. I was very impressed with that at the time as well. Really well played there, Mario, with that run there as we continue on through. Although, unfortunately, Hodgson in the grass. Mario a bit less in the grass. Carolyn, sorry, not in the grass there. They're 3 wide then as we head towards turn 1. I had no idea where to go here. What do you choose here? Left, middle, or right? I wasn't too sure, but I back out of this completely because I didn't want to get involved in it. But they all actually managed to get through fine there, Mario. So it goes back on the inside of Carolyn then as we go into the right-hander and continue on through. Looking to try and follow Mario Sonic then as we are now on the outside of Carolyn then in towards the left we go. And it looks like we are going to get this job done then as we're on the inside for the right-hander. We try and maintain that speed through the corner as Blue Thunder there unfortunately goes off to the realms. Not sure what's happened there, but Barrier certainly had a date there as we go into the right-hander then. But we do gain a place. Well, I'll look at that in the bloopers, of course. That's what they're there for, right at the end of the video. And I know you enjoy the bloopers as well. So we are up into P8. Mario Sonic go for that move he did on the previous lap again here. This time on the Hodgson then as we go into the right-hander. As we continue on through. I think Hodgson's just been run off a little bit there. We're going to go on the inside of Hodgson and up into P7 we go. As we look then at Mario Sonic. And that annoying horn. Shut up with the horn. I hate it. Need to disable the horn in these daily races as it does my nut in as we head towards turn 1 then. Mario brakes a bit earlier than I expected here as we get a little tap on the rear quarter there. Mario, apologies for that, but it wasn't meant to be or meant to happen that way. I wasn't purposely trying to hit your rear quarter there as we continue on through. Still the same here as we advance towards the end of the lap then. In the last corner we go. Just balancing the car here as we continue on through, and Mario Sonic's just going to go off there a little bit. Goes defensive then. We go towards that left-hand side there as we cross that start-finish line. Start lap number 4. This car, you do rev the nuts out of it, and that is the best way to get the speed here. So you're going to see 3rd and 4th gear used a lot here, which is normally the case here at Suzuka East. We do get past Mario Sonic though, and at the end of lap 4 though, we head off here, touching grass there as we continue on through. But Mario Sonic does give me enough room on exit, and we do have that run off the corner then as we continue towards lap number 5. And it's like we are going to maintain this position just there, just. It was a good recovery if I do say so myself there. As we then continue towards turn number 1. We'll advance towards the final lap then where we catch up to Bembo Baggins here, part of TCR. A shout out to all TCR members. And by the way, just as Bembo goes a little bit off there, touches the slippy stuff, we're going to go on the inside. But that's what I was about to say. TCR members, be prepared for a surprise coming soon. That's all I'm going to say. It's a nice surprise as well. Something I looked at yesterday and continue to look at. Something I've promised in the past as well. So it should be good. It should be really good. We do finish the race in P5 then. So you can have some good fun with this race. There is going to be a bit of rubbing there, and you will experience that, especially in the lower lobbies. So just be prepared for that if you are going to do this race. Head towards turn 1 then. I'd advise using the painted orange barrier on the left-hand side as your brake marker here. You can try and push yourself towards the 50 or the tarmac there, but that's when the car gets a little bit squirrely and a little bit deep into the corner. Now what you're going to do, you're going to go to 4th gear and then to 3rd gear quite quickly. It's the best way to do this in terms of the car. The quicker you go to 3rd gear, the more oversteer you get. You see there, get a little bit of oversteer, but actually helps the car out massively as we clip that inside. We accelerate out the corner then. Try not to touch the grass there because it will slow you down. You see here, I'm about to lose a tenth of a second as we go into the first S. Now, it's all about throttle control here. I dropped to 3rd gear here because the car loves to hit the limiter. So up to 4th gear then. And then what we'll do as we go through this left is we're going to drop to 3rd gear and we're not going to brake. We're going to let the car roll in 3rd gear. Notice I'm just balancing the throttle. That's all you're doing on these corners. Using one pedal, not two pedals, if you are using pedals, of course. So we're going to the left, then we're in 4th gear. And what we're going to do here is on the right side, we have that marshal box, okay? You need to change down to 3rd gear before that hits the edge of your screen, and you need to start turning in. You want to cut the right-hander. The later you leave the turn in here, the wider you're going to go, and you may experience what I experienced at the end of lap number 4 that we showed in the video. So don't cut it too much, of course. There is penalties still on there, but that's how you cut that corner there. And as you see, we're just staying in 3rd gear here and trying to hit the limiter there, which is bang on 7k revs. And that is a lap of Suzuka East in a nutshell. And that is it for race A. What we'll do is go to race B, where you can see we're in a long train of cars. We're line astern. It's Group 4 machinery, and we're at Dragontrail Gardens for this one. This is always a good combo. It really, really is. What are we doing then? Well, we're doing 4 laps here at Gardens. It's a rolling start to be on the racing hard tyre with bop and brake balances on as well, so you can adjust that if you like. Now I chose the Toyota Supra for this one. Lots of cars seem competitive here, so do pick what you like and have a bit of a play with it. Some good close racing. Let's jump to it now. Right, here we are then at the start. Lots of cars, as I said, multiple choices to pick here. I nearly picked the Ferrari. I went with the Toyota Supra as we go straight into this race. And the rolling start, nothing to really worry about for this one. You could go straight into it and have some fun as we continue through the left-hander then and head towards this chicane then. This is a very tricky chicane to get right as well. As we go into the left-hander, what you can do is cut the sausage. Put the sausage in the middle, and then as we go to the left, do the same thing again if you can. Otherwise, avoid it like I do this time. And as we continue on out of there, we're right in the thick of the action already with Mario Sonic's Sega Subaru and Hodgson's Ferrari 458 Group 4 car. So we're going towards that left-hand side then and in towards the braking zone we go. Hodgson brakes at the last of the late breakers. Sent it down the inside. Gets it stopped pretty much. What a move that is. 2 positions in one there. A bit on the curb there. Really, really, really on the edge there for Hodgson. But gets it working. Fair play. P13 black there. Just understeers off to Narnia then. So we get that position as we continue on through here with a bit of oversteer there as well as we go to this quadruple apex corner. I love that corner. It's a really, really spot on corner as we continue on out of there then and head towards the hairpin, the last corner on this circuit. Mario Sonic defending that inside line. It's a place to be if you are going to defend here. Going around the outside, not really ever going to work here because you just clip that bit of tarmac there and you end up behind the car. But you can do a bit of a cutback sometimes. This time it hasn't quite worked here as we continue towards lap number 2. We are right behind this Subaru as we cross that line now then. A very close racing action here. Once again, this race very worthwhile doing in my opinion. You can have some good fun here as Mario Sonic there goes, tries down the inside of Disco Stew. Disco Stew is back, baby, as we continue through there and head towards the chicane. Then Mario Sonic still on the inside. Disco Stew. Stew pulls out of it then, falls in behind there, and we do the same. So we're going to cut the sausage there. You can cut that more than this one. You can cut this one a little bit, of course. As we come out of here, though, look at the speed we maintain there. Through we go on the inside of Disco Stew. Partying all day long here as we advance towards the next fight then. We've got D-Ball and Hodgson there, both members of TCR. Oh, I think D-Ball got sandwiched there with Mario Sonic on the inside as we continue on through here. Oh no, speaking of TCR, who is that? Oh no, Thunder's gone again. What's going on there? That's TCR player, otherwise known as Thunder. Just on left hand side, we're using PSN names at the moment as we go through this quadruple right-hander. We are right behind D-Bull then, again a part of TCR. And as I said earlier on, if you're a part of TCR, expect some nice surprises coming up in the very near future as we head towards the hairpin then. D-Bull breaks quite early here, so I sent it down the inside then, clip that first apex, go on the inside then, and we're going to get the second apex here. Marisonic doing the same to Hodgson, but look at the boost. D-Bull, gets off that corner. It shows you how the cutback can work here as D-Bull on the inside then in that McLaren, which is actually quite a quick car as well. As we head towards turn 1, going to be on the inside. I'm going to try my luck around the outside then. Can we get it working? That is the question. As we continue on around, always going to be tight here. D-Bull maintaining that inside line. And what I'm going to try is around the outside here to get the inside for the chicane. That's my goal here. And I make it work. I make it happen and slow it down enough here. We clip that sausage there. Not too bad in an FR car. MR cars will struggle with the sausage. Remember that because the weight is over that rear. It's going to make it go flying essentially. We advance to lap number 3 then, and Hodgson goes a bit deep then in towards that left. We're going to be on the outside of Hodgson then, heading towards the quadruple apex corner again, but it's all right-handers, so Hodgson should have this really nailed as we go through. That's number 2. The number 3, and you see there, Hodgson gets it done there. Beautiful, beautiful defense there from Hodgson as we continue on out of there then, behind the Ferrari 458. Highly recommend doing this race. You will need to qualify though. I do feel like this race could do with being a 5-lap race, similar to last week at Spa. It really would help. Oh, Mario Sonic's gone deep there. Mario Sonic's gone way too deep then. Hodgson retakes that position. And as we continue on out of here, Mario's going to have dirt on his tyres. So we're going to go towards that inside line to try and claim this place as we enter the final lap here at Dragontrail Gardens. Can we get P9? That is the question. It's just up in the distance then. In towards turn 1 we go. Mario trying to hang it round that outside line. Trying to do what I did earlier on then. As we continue on through with more ahead than we were. As we enter in towards the left, and we do get it stopped there. And Marisonic, unfortunately, going to lose the rear end there. We are not. We cut that sausage very nicely. We're going to cut it again here as we continue on through. We're getting closer and closer to this Ferrari 458 of Hodgson. And as we look down the inside there, we try and scare Hodgson a little bit. Hodgson goes very deep into the corner as we go through here then. We got Bembo in the police-mobile up ahead. Another member of TCR, of course. As we continue on, then it's side-by-side action with Hodgson on this final lap in this final complex area of the circuit. Going to try around the outside. This is a very common move here and one I would recommend as well because you're on the inside for the left and it always works out. As you see here, we get the job done. Up into P9 we go then as we advance towards the end then where we do catch up to Bembo. Unfortunately, we do not overtake the police, the 5-0, the Popo, whatever you want to call them there. But we do have a good race there. It's a brilliant race, to be fair. Shout out to everyone that raced there. Really good fun indeed. And congratulations to Optizo there winning. How do you do this circuit? Well, let me explain. On the left-hand side, you've got a row of trees. Well, it's like a tree, a space, a tree. The last tree on the left is your brake marker as you go into this corner. Now, it looks not that obvious here, but as you race, you will see it's very obvious indeed. And essentially, you just trail brake into the corner. And what you want to do is actually clip the curb on the inside. And that's what I'm going to try and do here. Try and clip the curb. I just miss it, just. If I clip it, I will gain time. I did do another lap here where I gained time there, but I lost it elsewhere. Heading towards the left-hander then, you've got a choice here. You've got the 100 board, the painted orange barrier, or the start the curb, all highlighted there for you. Pick and choose what you like in that situation. I'm going to use the orange painted barrier. That's sort of my go-to in terms of all brake markers here, okay, as I go into this left-hander. Now, you clip the left. Now, this is where, as I say, you want the sausage in the center of your car, and again, the sausage in the center of your car here. Don't cut that left one too much because it will give you a penalty, okay? You've really just got to have it closer to your left wheels where you can there. As you head towards the hairpin then, on the right side, just before the 100 board, there is a tree on the right on a hill. It's a nice marker for you. It's a very obvious marker, and it's the marker I am going to tell you to use, okay? So as that tree is about to hit the edge of your screen, you're going to hit the brakes, okay? Now, you want to stay towards the right-hand side longer as possible, or as long as possible, because what you want to do then is turn into the corner. It's very easy to turn early here and go a bit too deep and have a bit of a weird exit, so stay towards the right as long as you possibly can. As we go up here then, you want to go towards that left-hand side. Sometimes you'll want to lift a little bit, as I do. Lift it a little bit there to keep it as far left as possible for this right-hander. Now, you can either use the painted orange barrier there, but I don't use that. I use the sand trap here, and that's what I'm going to advise you use, okay? So as you come into here, you want to start braking and turning as you go in. Remember, not 100% brake. It's a dab of the brakes as you turn in, and you want to clip the curb. Head over towards that right-hand side as much as you can, and that tree, as that tree disappears on the edge of your screen on the right-hand side, that's when you want to turn left, okay? Now, some cars, it's just a lift and turn in. Other cars is a dab of the brakes and turn in. Depends what car you use, okay? But the critical part of this is you need to clip the curb on the inside, and that's what I'm going to advise here. Notice a quick dab of the brakes, I clip the curb, and then use all the curb on the exit. Just be careful about the car just leaning on the curb too much there on the center, where it just rides it too much and spins it out. Next up then is the quadruple corner, and on the left-hand side, you've got that black patch there. That's what I'm using as a brake marker, okay? Now, for this corner, you don't have to hit every single apex. The ones I'd advise you hit are the first one, and then the second one. And then as you go through here, you want to clip the third, and then you can avoid the fourth. It's not too bad because you're now carrying the momentum, and it's a bit of a difference between the third and the fourth one. And head up towards the hairpin then. So the hairpin on the right side, we've got a painted orange barrier there. That is your brake marker. As that leaves the edge of your screen, okay, that is when you're going to hit the brakes. And again, this one, very easy to turn in a bit too early. You want a wide line in, open the corner out so you get a really good exit. Because remember, it's a start-finish straight, so it's a really long straight as well. You really want to nail this, okay? So as you come into here, you're going to avoid that first curb if you can, but you want to clip the second one. That is where all the time is. As you accelerate out of this corner, use all the curb on the exit. And we're going to head towards that start-finish line then. And we're going to finish this lap here at Dragontrail Gardens. Good luck with this one and enjoy it because I think it's a good, fun race. Speaking of fun races, Daily Race C is an absolute banger. I will say this right now. This is a superb race and one I highly recommend you try out. What are we doing then? We're in Group 3. Brake balance is on. And we're at Deep Forest Raceway doing 12 laps. It's a rolling start. Racing soft tyre. You have to pit at some point. And it's time 5 tyre, times 2 fuel. Why is it such a banger? Because you can choose whether you change tyres or not. It's all on the same tyre and you can choose when to pit or not. It's so good. Lots of strategy in this race. This one is a good one. Trust me. Let's jump to the race then. Let's have a look exactly what happens and a lap guide at the very end. Right, here we are then, and a mixture of cars here. Mercedes-AMG by Sonic there. Shout out to you with that choice. And Porsches, we've got Ruthless Boy by Consta. Get out of it, Consta. We hate that car. I absolutely hate that car. If it had a roof, I'd be fine with it as a Group 3 car, but it's just a bit stupid in my opinion. But even so, here we go with this race as we head towards a turn 1. Everybody grouping up here then. Mixture of cars is always good, and it's looking like it's a mixture of cars on the leaderboard as well. And with the strategies at play, it's a mixture of cars in the race. As we fast forward here, you notice a train of cars and heading towards the left-hander then, and then the sharp left before the long straight. We've got a penalty there for bumper cam Bob up ahead. As we go into here though, it all slows down. Slight tap from behind there from Womble. We'll have a look at that in the replay. Nothing major though. Womble waits up there as we continue on. As a bit of bumper cam Bob about to take that penalty then. It's all about to get very interesting. Another car up ahead with a penalty as well. Who is that? It's VR Van as we head in towards this braking zone then side by side as we continue on through here. Slight tap on VR Van and Mario Sonic. I'm sort of on the outside here of 2 other cars. I'm trying to sort of like, hey, I'm here guys, and try not to pit maneuver them as we come back on. And we are at the back of this train of Porsches as we continue down the hill and up. And one thing to remember with this Supra is it speed. So I go towards that left-hand side then. Look at it, just pull alongside these Porsches. Mario Sonic gives me a bit of a slipstream there. Thank you so much. As we head in towards this braking zone though, I didn't mean to absolutely send it here. Mario Sonic with good awareness there gives me enough room on the inside there. Was not meant to send it there at all. So fair play to Mario for seeing that indeed. As we advance towards the end of lap 2 then, Mario Sonic goes defensive then as we head towards the braking zone once again of this hairpin. This is where a lot of moves will happen. And of course on the straight, getting that slipstream as well. I'd actually advise staying behind people until you get onto this straight and then using the slipstream. Depending on the car you're in, of course, the Supra is absolutely rapid on the straights, as we know from previous videos. As we head down here, then we're in the slipstream of Mario Sonic. We saw what we did with the 2 other Porsches on the previous lap. Let's do it again as Mario Sonic goes defensive. We go towards that right-hand side, the racing line, and we get that position up into P7. We go then as we advance towards the braking zone again. Now, I did talk about brake balance in previous videos, and I used to put brake balance on the screen all the time. It is very much your choice, okay? Now, I'm using +5 here in the Toyota Supra. You may want to go a bit smaller on that to avoid some oversteer as we look down the inside of Jesse then in that AMG as we go towards that left-hand side then. And once again, you're seeing this car pull. But yeah, brake balance, I'm using +5 here. Again, it's up to you what you use here, and it's up to you and what you do in terms of strategy as well. As we advance towards lap number 5, I noticed a big group of cars up ahead. I'm like, none of them are pitting. I'm going to pit. When I come in the pits, you have to pit at least once, and it's your choice then of whether you change tyres or not. And I was looking at my tyres thinking, do I change? I decided to change, okay? And the reason for that is I was thinking, okay, most people are not going to change, and their tyre drop-off should be significant enough where I have an advantage. That was the decision I made. I'm in clean air here as well. Womble's behind. We come out ahead of Governor as well in the McLaren. Let's see what we can do as we fast forward a bit further here. I noticed a GTR just sat there in the middle of nowhere. I have no idea what happened there. We'll have a look at the bloopers, of course, for that one. As we advance then towards the start-finish line, and look at this then, start-finish straight, sorry, as people are coming out the pits all ahead of me as well here. So some people have changed tyres and some hadn't. I noticed Mario Sonic, obviously, was behind me before, is now ahead of me. I know Mario Sonic hasn't changed his tyres. Consta was about the same distance, so I knew Consta had changed tyres. We go a lap later here, and we are advancing past Sonic then, as we are now in P5, and you see the fight up ahead between the Supra and Mario Sonic. Now, I did notice Mario Sonic was drifting a lot of oversteer, so that confirmed it, in my opinion, what tyres Mario Sonic was on in terms of old tyres, not new tyres. Now, depending on your car choice will depend on what you do. Remember, I have to re-overtake Mario Sonic now, which is going to cost me time. In some other cars, you may be better not changing tyres because the tyre wear is just so much better, and that is worthwhile doing. It's going to make it very interesting this week because it also means you can change where you pit. You know, if you're going to change your tyres, you want to pit around the middle areas, you know, and get the best of both worlds. If you're not going to change your tyres, you may stay out till very near the end, or you may pit at the very beginning to try and do an undercut of some kind. It's going to give so much strategy this race, and I love it for that. I really do. Now, you've seen the power of the Supra here with the Porsche struggling to actually catch up then. In towards the braking zone we go. Mario sends it down that inside. I give Mario some room here as we go through this corner. Beautiful bit of side-by-side racing. As we leave this corner, though, the Supra is so good on exit. Mario just struggling with that grip on those older tyres as we head down towards the hairpin then. And we can see Consta in P1 in Ruthless Boy. Get out of that car, Consta, as we continue on out of there. We do have a Supra that we've got to overtake, first of all, here. The French driver, XX, well, I have no idea. PGM, we'll call them, as we go through this left-hander then, and we are in that slipstream. So they go towards that left-hand side. We go towards the right-hand side then. We're in the same car this time, so it's not going to be a big, old nuclear pass here as we head towards the braking zone. Then in we go. We outbrake them completely, but we outbrake ourselves, and look at this, a beautiful defensive move by the French driver. Absolutely spot on. Well played to you, my friend. That was awesome defensive work. You saw what I did. You took full advantage and you kept P3. However, I want P3 back, so you go defensive. Let's see what we can do here then as they go towards the inside. Now, I actually thought they were on used tyres, but looking back at the replay, they're actually on brand new tyres as well, which surprises me with what's about to happen here. So we're going towards this left-hander, okay? Through we go. I just have so much more grip on exit, and I just fire away here, which actually helps me massively. As we are towards the final lap, though, we do catch up to Bembo Baggins, and we are in this slipstream, so it's a run towards the line then versus the fellow TCR member here. As we head towards the line then, Bembo keeping it in the middle of the road here. We're catching, but we don't quite do it there. Well played, Bembo. Podiums there, P2, P3 for TCR. Congratulations to Consta in Ruthless Boy. Get out of that car, Consta. Get out of it, I tell you. Right, let's go towards the lap guide then. Let me tell you how to do Deep Forest then. Head towards turn 1. You're looking for that 100 board here. Now, I don't do turn 1 the best here. You can definitely do it better. But 100 board is definitely your brake marker here. And you're going to drop all the way down. Now, you can actually do this in a V shape, or you can go for a tight line. It's your choice with this one. Now, I actually find sometimes the V is better in some cars, and the tight line is better in other cars. It really does depend. We're through here then. We're going to accelerate out of the corner as quick as we can. Definitely could have carried more speed there as we head up the hill, over towards that left-hand side. And then we're going to sort of turn in here. You want to abuse a lot of the circuit there on the right. And as you head towards this braking zone, you can either use the end of the wooden fence on the left-hand side as that leaves the screen, or you can try and judge it based on the concrete. Now, I'm more a concrete guy. It's right in my visual sight there, so that's what I'm going to use. But that fence is actually in a perfect marker as well, so you can pick and choose there what you like. So I use a little bit of the left there, try and maximize the angle then for the right. Accelerate through here in third gear. Now, the exit of the tunnel is when you're going to brake and turn in. Now, this is a tight line, okay? You do a tight line for this corner. You want to brake early, trail brake in, and keep a tight line because there's a specific marker you're looking for on the exit. So that's what I'm going to do here. Second gear in the Supra. Obviously, it depends which car you're going to use here. This time, keeping a tight line, tight line, tight line. And what I'm looking for is the entrance of that tunnel. That's when I start to accelerate. You can see I've already started here. We're still not round the corner yet, and we're accelerating. Now, you do have to be careful of power oversteer. Lots of cars are going to suffer with power oversteer. Not as much as normal because it's racing soft tyres. However, it's still significant there as well as we accelerate through the corner then and continue on. Don't cut that too much. You'll get a 0.5 penalty. And as we head towards this crest of the hill, as the curb comes the most in towards the circuit, protrudes into the circuit there, that is your marker, okay? You're going to straight line this, and you're going to brake and turn in. Now, I like to go down a gear and then up a gear in cars for this corner. It seems to help rotation initially, and then you can accelerate through the corner. There you go, third gear, and then normally I go to fourth, so I lost a bit of time there by not doing that, so a bit more time available in the lap. But that's what you want to do. You want to chuck it in and just accelerate through the corner as best as you can. Head towards this left-hander. There's a big old rock on the left-hand side, which you can use as that leaves the screen, or you can use to start the bridge there. Notice the bridge has a tarmac change. You can use that there. You want to stay to the right as much as possible, then click the curb and just belt it out of here as quick as possible. Use all the curb there. If you go too much over the curb, of course, you will get a penalty, but you want to absolutely nuke that corner. It's so significant. There's so much time in that corner. Really want to get right. Same for this corner as well, the hairpin. So on the right hand side, we've got that structure there, whatever you want to call it, place for cameras, etc. But as that leaves the edge of your screen is when you're going to brake. Okay, that's my marker for this one. Now, you want to stay towards the right-hand side. Now, the whole point of this corner is you want to accelerate as early as possible. You will maximize your time by accelerating as early as possible. Now, I should have been in second gear on exit. That's going to cost me a little bit of time here. But then you fast forward all the way to the end then, and I'm going to cross the line with a 125. 124s are easily possible, but let's jump to some bloopers now because it's time to have a look at what happened to TCR player in race A, first of all. Going through here then, going to accelerate through here, and just runs off then, full throttle, going to come back on, trying to get out of the way of everybody, and then hits the barrier, and then is going to leave. Now, Mr. Yellow Flag Man there, you're a bit delayed on the flag, but thank you all the same for waving that as we head to... I wonder what he thought when the car disappeared, by the way, because he did look for the car there. Right, through this left hand, there we go. MG Flash, unfortunately, going to just slightly tap TCR player off then. They're going to have dirt on their tyres as they try and come back on the circuit. Obviously, players not going to be impressed with that one, of course. I know MG Flash would have done that as a mistake. We've raced Flash many times. Just a small error. Slight tap from behind from Legends Safa. Not quite Jaffa there. We're going to come through here. Still dirt on the tyres. Just going to understeer off into the barrier then. And as you come back on here, just a little bit of wheel spin and a penalty there for a barrier hit there. So just unfortunate with that one as we continue to womble then in daily races. Coming into here, everybody really shortens up the braking zone there as it's just a slight tap. Nothing major there. All good. Womble does YouTube as well. You can check out Womble on YouTube as we advance to what happened to this GTR, by the way. Just randomly sat in the middle of the corner. Coming through here then, through the left. No input. Oh, okay. Disconnected. That is an actual disconnect. When all inputs stop and it just goes like that, that is a disconnect, and we see that there. And this is quite good, by the way. If you want an interesting camera angle, watch someone disconnect, and then you can look. You can get nice camera angles. Static cameras. We want that in the game, folks. Right, we go to this one. So I got told about this one by Sonic. Going through here then. We're 3 wide, now 2 wide on exit as we head towards the right. This is very hard to do side by side, but they both manage it quite well here in the grand scheme of it. In towards the left we go, and the braking zone. Oh, tap from behind, hits into Mario Sonic, but Sonic was hit from behind there, to be fair, as we go in to the right-hander. Now, Sonic's actually going to wait up for Mario here. Now, I would argue you don't have to wait for Mario here. Mario, Sonic, and Sonic. How about that? Brethren, that they didn't know they were. But yeah, you didn't have to wait there because that's not your fault, in my opinion. That is the car behind you who hit you. So I wouldn't have waited there, but fair play to you, Sonic. Like, literally, super sportsmanship. So we're going to just have a look here. Again, Cal didn't mean this at all. Just goes into the back of Sonic, which goes into the back of Mario Sonic. We know what the ping pong physics are like when you do that. But again, I don't see... Sonic, you definitely didn't have to wait up there. Definitely not on you, that one. So you could have carried on there, in my opinion. But well played all the same. Unfortunately, folks, that is it for this video. If you did like it, give it a like. Subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content, including our journey to 40k. But a big thank you for watching, as always. And I hope to see you in another video. I'll live stream again very soon.